Okay, let us know when it is live. It's live. Okay.
If you have any questions or comments about the items on the agenda, please email that question or comment to publiccomments@townofdyer.com. We will ensure that all submissions are shared with the elected and appointed officials of the council. The submission will also be entered into the minutes of the respective meeting. Please list your name, address in your email for the meeting record.
And members, if you can move the microphones closer to yourself so that we make sure we get a good pickup on the screen. Thank you.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Dyer Metropolitan Police Commission, April 16th, 2020. Please stand and let's pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sue, roll call, please.
Bill?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Richard?
Here.
Keith?
Here. First on the agenda, we have the election of officers. Yes, correct. We have to have a moment of silence first in memory of Commissioner Sue Krupa that passed this year. Let's do that now. Okay, very good. Thank you. First on our agenda, once again, is the election of officers.
Mr. Vice President, I'd like to present the slate for this year's commission. Bill Olcott, President, Joe Rentz, Vice President, Richard Moore, Secretary.
Very good. I will,
You have a second?
do I have a second? Okay.
You have to say it verbally.
A second.
Very good. What's it? Roll call vote, please, Sue.
Yes, Bill?
Yes.
Joe?
Aye, yes.
Richard?
Aye.
And Keith?
Aye.
Very good. We'll have Bill Olcott as the president for the 2020. Myself, Joseph Renz, for the vice president, and Richard Moore for the secretary. Very good. Thank you.
So at this time, starting off my first year as president this year, has everybody seen the meeting minutes for January?
Yes.
Yes.
Like a motion to approve. I'd like to also state that John Egan has retired from resigned from the police commission. And as we all know, Sue Krupa's passing was in January. So at this time, I'd have to ask for a motion. And since only myself and Richard Moore were here, I'd have to ask for a motion from one of the other two. Or I'd have to have Richard Moore do the motion and one of the other two commissioners second it.
Mr. President, I'll make that motion to accept the minutes as presented.
And I will second it, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. One thing I would like to do is recognize some people in the audience real quick. We're just having a rough start with all the new things going on. We have Councilwoman Mary Tanis here and Councilperson Robert Starkey, FOP President Shane Hendren, General Counsel is Bill Enslin, and everybody else knows everybody. Frank, our IT guy, which if it wasn't for Frank, we wouldn't be up and live right now. Thank you, Frank. We move on. Chief of Police report, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll take on January 1st. We have 741 incidents, 39 arrests, 29 accidents, 209 citations, 399 warnings, and 27 ordinance violations. Transition into February if there's no questions. 668 for the incidents, 32 arrests, 36 accidents, 205 citations, with 411 warnings and 47 ordinance violations. And finally, March, 568 incidents, 30 arrests, 10 accidents, 204 citations, 309 warnings, and 32 ordinance violations. That's the activity for January, February, and March.
Thank you, Chief. Bill, I don't believe we need a motion for that.
No,
It's just on the record.
just a report.
Thank you. Old business staffing, Chief?
Yes, currently we are 2 below our authorized maximum of 32 officers, as the council has granted us in 2019 to be at 32 officers. And with retirement and resignation, we are looking to move forward with filling those 2 openings as quick as we can. We have 1 officer that was in the academy who's back with us due to the temporary closing of the academy for the COVID-19 issues that are going on. So he is still just filling out the FTO portion of it, taking time away from what he would have spent when he came back from the academy. Given that, all of our personnel have been deemed essential for us and have been reporting to work with operations going smoothly. We have closed the foyer and are doing most everything we can via phone, internet, and limiting the contact that we have as best we can.
Chief, with staffing, you said how many are we down?
Currently 2. What we would like to do is authorize, seek permission from the commission to go ahead and gather up emergency hire applications that we have to present them for you at a later date so that we can entertain filling those vacancies. We'll know more at the next meeting whether or not the academy is going to be reopened in order to put someone without academy certification through, or if we're going to need to adjust our numbers and act accordingly. So what we'd probably be seeking is the support from the commission today to go move forth with the emergency hire process for at least one of those 2 openings, and then do a report back to you next month with our findings.
Are you seeking such a motion at this?
I am seeking that motion.
I'd like to entertain a motion for giving permission for the chief and his staff to move forward with emergency hiring process. And at the time that the chief reports back to us, we'll conclude whether we're going to move forward with 1 or multiple people on emergency processing. But at that time, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion to initiate the emergency hire.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
New business, extension of current promotional list.
Yes, I believe you have a letter in the packet. In February, we were looking to extend the promotional list according to our general order number 3 for 180 days. And as you know, that meeting was canceled along with the next one. So in order to ratify the decision that was made at that time by President Egan, I'll ask that you entertain a motion to extend the current promotional registry from the expiration date of February 15th, 180 days, which is allowable by general order number 3.
And as part of that motion, you're ratifying the action of then President Egan extending that list at that time.
I'll be seeking a motion to ratify the extension of the promotional list that was approved or set forth by then President John Egan. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I'll
Excuse
make
me
that
1
motion.
second, to extend 180 days from the date, Bill, of February
February 15th. would be the
February
expiration
15th.
date.
from February 15th. I'm sorry.
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
Sorry.
I will second, Mr. President.
I think we need a roll call for this one.
Yes. Joe?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
Thank you.
Authorization of the new promotional process.
That leads us into letter B, which is for the commission to grant authority to the assistant chief and I to move forward with the next process. So at the end of this 180 days, our new list would be in effect for 2 years. And we would just need, again, support with a motion to continue with that process. Support to each step of the way, as we always have. Commission is duly responsible for this process, but can at any time assign any portion of that to the department to do, and that's what we do in the initial phase here. The assistant chief and I will organize the company to come in and set the dates and parameters of the testing. And that's what we're looking to do right now, start that first step with that.
Again, I'll be looking for a motion to give the chief and his staff permission to move forward with the promotional process. So we'll be ready at the end of the 180 days.
Mr. President, I'll make that motion to extend the promotion process,
Authorize the promotion process.
authorize the promotion process.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Chief, SWAT?
Thank you. SWAT is announced earlier in the year, they announced their April date for open tryouts. We put a letter of interest out to our department, received 2 applicants that were interested in SWAT. We ran through a pre-test with our SWAT member, Corporal Jerry Patrick, just to make sure that they could pass the minimum requirements for being on the SWAT team. And we've authorized the 2 officers to participate in the next SWAT tryout. And wait to see if they're selected. If they both are selected, at that point, we would make a decision as a department. We want to go forth and put 2 more officers on the SWAT team. 1, 0 at that time, but we basically authorized them to go ahead and participate in the tryout, and we'll hear back from the team.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Mr. Enslin, with the general orders, do I need a vote for individually, or can I?
You can do them all in one motion, as long as they're specified general order 3, 5, and 9.
Okay. You've all read your packets previous. In front of you, we have general order number 3, hiring and promotional sworn personnel. General order number 5, organizational structure, and general order 9, code of conduct. I'll be looking for a motion to approve all 3 with the changes that were made previously.
I'll make a motion to approve general order number 3, general order number 5, and general order number 9.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Joe?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
Very good.
Chief, correspondence?
Okay. Looks like the first one that you have in your packet is from the St. John Police Department for Sergeant Weinbars, Officer Farmington, and Officer Smith for a agency assist that they were involved in. Chief Flores took the time to acknowledge their contribution on the call. Whether it will be placed in their files, copy of this letter. Thank you letter went to Sergeant Stein and Officer Kazubel from St. Jude House. The next one's in general for the Dyer Police Department as a whole. Thank you letter from resident Mary. St. John Township trustee wrote the next letter, Kathy LaRue, for some bikes that were donated to the township center to be used. The next colorful flag was done by a 17-year-old resident, thanking the Dyer Police Department. The next is a thank you from Commissioner Renz for the police department sending flowers and a letter of condolences for his loss to his family.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
And the donation list is the very last one.
So I would have to have a motion to accept those donations,
Yes, and they should be read into the record.
each one of them individually.
No, it can all be done in one motion
Okay.
for all of the donations.
Thank you. For donation, a check was received from John Krupa, husband of Susan Krupa, former commissioner, in the amount of $500. Check was received from Daniel and Rolette Bernacci in memory of Sue Krupa in the amount of $100. The check was received from Sandai and I apologize if I'm messing up your names, Reva Prasad, Kanakalam Bella, I think I'm close, in the amount of $100. A check was received from Shirley Matthews in the amount of $100. Can I get a motion to accept?
You also have another donation on the next page.
Oh, I didn't see that on the other page. A check in the amount of $100 received from Mary and Christina Darlinbaugh.
You're in.
Do I have a motion to accept these donations?
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to accept all the donations as
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Mr. President, for discussion, if I could add a little bit
Sure.
about the first page.
Sure.
Commissioner Krupa had always expressed her intentions that in lieu of flowers, at her wake, that she wanted donations to the police department, and that's where that major list was done. So, very last generous gift that she had given us, and basically allows us to put it towards something that she wished for, or to come up with some great idea at the police department in order to keep her memory going a little bit longer. And the second page of donations was for a canine donation, just for clarification.
Okay. I didn't read the top of it. I apologize, Chief. Well, as you all know, Sue was probably one of the longest standing commissioners in Dyer history, who would be here every day if she could have. As a commissioner, she would come in and see the chiefs. I don't know how many chiefs she actually served for. I think right now, I believe it was 3, maybe
Least.
longer, Bill?
At
At least 3.
Yeah.
Outlasted so many commissions and really gave her heart to the service of this community, and she's going to be missed. As Sue would say, she'd entertain the motion, and I'm going to ask for entertaining the motion of,
You already have a motion in a second. You need a vote.
on the, right, I apologize, I need a vote. So with Sue's last thing from donation, I'm sorry, Dave, or Chief. Can I get a roll call vote, Sue?
Joe?
Aye.
Richard?
aye.
Keith? Bill?
Aye. I promise it'll go smoother on the next meeting. Any and all other from the audience? Mary?
I just wanted to welcome the new commissioners. We just got one here tonight, but I want to welcome you. It's really an honor to serve on the Dyer Police Commission, and I want to say thank you very much for.
Thank you for applying to the, for the position. The second thing is the town council adopted the salary ordinance with the changes that were made at the last meeting. And it's a pleasure to see all of you following the governor's executive orders as far as distancing and so forth. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
FOP president?
Just on behalf of the FOP, wanted to thank you for your support and the town council support in the raise proposal and everything we were able to accomplish. Thank you.
Any citizen input?
I'd just like to say, I just want to thank John Egan, former president of the Police Commission, for his service. And he did a great job and he loved doing it. And thank you very much for remembering my family during my mother's passing. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say thank you again to John Egan for all his years and leadership. He did a great job. We enjoyed working with him. Then also with Sue Krupa, her and her family. She supported Dyer police officers more than anybody I knew. So just good wishes to her and her family.
Mr. President, if I could also add in there, as Council President Tanis stated, that it was a long effort for that salary ordinance to get approved. We could also add thanks to town manager, clerk treasurer, the entire town council, and all the hours that were put into it to come together with the final product that we were all very proud of and very happy with. Can't say enough about the team effort on it. I appreciate everybody's support as a commission, council that's present, and and also Attorney Enslin had to sit through a lot of those long meetings. Thank you.
With that said, at this time, I look for motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'd like to, if I can, Mr. President, I
Oh,
want to
sure.
mention that we have not received any public comments that were directed to public comments at townofdyer.com.
I always got to forget that now at this modern age. Thank you, Frank. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.